Hi, and welcome to Rest Stops, short features to encourage you toward greater life balance. My name is Rachel, and here's my dad with today's Rest Stop.
Well, hi, and welcome to this week's Rest Stop. Thanks so much for tuning in. Well, that was embarrassing. With about 5 minutes left while teaching Sunday's second service, I suddenly felt flush and clammy, but I had the presence of mind to ask someone to come up because I thought I was going to pass out. Too late. Just as two guys came up behind me to assist, they caught me as I fell backwards and fainted. I didn't think I'd actually totally passed out, but they assured me I had. They even produced pictures later. Well, the next thing I knew, our church medical team was hovering over me and paramedics had been summoned. As they treated me, including an EKG and preparing me for transport to the local ER, I protested, saying, I want to finish the teaching. But they would have none of it. Ironically, I am currently teaching a series on 10 diagnostic indicators of spiritual health based on the book of 1 John. I even had a stethoscope and a blood pressure cuff sitting on a table as a prop to make the comparison and the connection between our physical and spiritual well-being. Well, 4.5 hours later, after the wonderful ER staff completed 2 more EKGs, a battery of blood tests, and administered fluids via IV, the physical diagnosis was severe dehydration. I was fighting a virus and suffering from a significant level of exhaustion. I was released but directed to go home and get some rest and recuperation time. So as I write this blog post, I've been home since Sunday, obeying doctor's orders and my wife's, especially my wife's. Well, that was embarrassing. You would think that someone who has made dozens of lifestyle changes over the past 5 years and written a weekly blog for 2 of those years on the subject of rest and life balance wouldn't blow past warning signs. I should have seen it coming. During the past few months, I've been carrying an unusual load that resulted in an elevated level of physical and emotional drain and mental strain. I knew I needed much more than just my normal rest and life balance routines, but continued to push through, rationalizing that this season would soon end and things would get back to some semblance of normal. I should have known better. I've learned 3 valuable lessons this week as a result of this ordeal, and they all involve the word listen. Number 1, listen to the Lord. I had sensed spiritually that the Lord was wanting to get my attention. My quiet time was a bit disjointed, and I felt a little bit disconnected at times, even though I was engaged in major ministry efforts. I sensed Him drawing me to certain Psalms and Proverbs that revealed my frazzled condition. When He speaks through His Word, I must be willing to listen, but also respond in obedience. Number 2, listen to your body. In Psalm 139, David writes, I will praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. God has intricately designed our body, soul, and spirit. He knows us through and through. Our bodies have so many indicators that reveal potential issues, but we must be aware of them and learn to recognize them, such as increased heart rate, breathing irregularities, a rise in blood pressure, adrenaline, cortisol, fever, pain, numbness, fatigue, headaches, stress, just to name a few. Don't blow past these indicators. Number 3, listen to others who know and care for you the most, family and friends. I found out my wife Tammy and 3 grown children were already concerned about the load I was carrying and were conspiring and considering a coup and plotting an intervention. A couple of close friends and coworkers also had voiced concern and strongly urged me to dial things back, which clearly demonstrated their tremendous compassion and care for me. God brings those into our lives as we live life together who know us the best to encourage and exhort us and even speak words of correction into us. Don't take these counselors and confidants for granted. Listen to and cherish those whom God has placed in our lives to care for us. You know, as cognizant as I have become in understanding the need for rest and greater life balance these past 5 years, I must remain vigilant and recognize, especially during those times of additional stress, burden, and load, not to blow past the warning signs and listen to the Lord, listen to my body, and listen to those closest to me. I do have a new verse that I plan to meditate on for the next month after this recent ordeal. Psalm 84:2. My soul longs, yes, even faints for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God.